just gonna keep moving. Just keep going. Switch places! Alright, hi, welcome to the Green Room Show. I think the video should start at the switch.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I'm leaving that in.
Welcome to the Green Room video for episode number 43 of Limit Break Radio. Thank you guys for tuning into the show. We really appreciate it. And
now that Aniero's gotten his emotions out at the end of that episode,
yeah,
now he can just be a dried up corpse of cynicism.
that was a little bit rough for me, guys.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that did not come easily.
I couldn't figure out if I was supposed to be jumping in and like contributing more to that, or just let you go.
Oh, you guys could have jumped in if you wanted.
I felt like it was more impactful just letting you go for the most part. We got in a little bit towards the end.
Yeah, either way, I think it ended up
Hi,
working.
Kat.
All right, first thing, if you guys hear a little bit of wind, yeah, we're dealing with wind today here at the studio, so please ignore that.
Did you ever name the new studio?
No, I don't think we ever did.
I don't think we did either.
I don't know that there's a good place in game for it.
There is. Your house.
Yeah, that's where we do the show from.
Yeah.
It could be the Lords of Verminion room, because that's the only place to be quiet enough to do the show at.
No, I think just in general our personal room. The fact we identify where it is, like
right.
Yeah, that's true. We do have a spot in game.
Yeah, so that's just
Yeah.
it's as good as anything. That wasn't even a possibility in 11. Let's face it.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right. So let's talk about episode number 43. Long episode today, but
Yeah.
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. Yeah. If I had wrapped up my feelings earlier, then it would have been shorter. So I apologize for letting that drag for a minute. But thank you guys for letting me get that out. It's also my birthday. Thank you for all of the birthday wishes. It was very nice. So.
Happy birthday, Samus.
Yeah, so, alright, let's talk about this episode. We were talking mostly about the reactions to 3.15 and the animal weapons. I thought that there would be a lot more visceral salt being thrown around about the quest line. Most everyone who called in was kind of on the same page,
or at least okay with it. Maybe not positive, but at least okay.
And I'm so disappointed. Did Skuro try to call in?
Yeah, he did.
He did.
Was he gonna complain about?
I think because
he said he wasn't pissed about the grind.
Well, he was bitching up a storm on Monday, or no, I'm sorry, on Wednesday in the link shell.
As I understand, he was pissed about his weapon sucking balls.
Oh, that is fair because the machinist weapon does suck balls.
Yeah.
Well.
Bard's is godlike this expansion.
Darks is great.
Is it?
Yeah.
What's it got?
I don't recall on it, but I know that it's really good though.
Ninja has determination and skill speed, which is kind of poopy, but whatever.
It's whatever. Yeah, skill speed.
Yeah.
That sucks. But it'll be as one of the callers mentioned, it'll be customizable.
Eventually, so I'm not too concerned.
Caller heavy show today. Lots of calls.
How many did we miss?
We missed 9.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we took 6, right?
No,
7.
7?
At least, and I might have miscounted.
Wow. Yeah, a lot of calls. Lots of calls today.
It's like you say, like that episode really makes you realize that like our audience is a particularly smart audience within the FF14 community.
Yep.
Who can handle real discussions.
Yep.
But it also goes to highlight, like when you see a lot of things that you see on Reddit or on the official forums, it's the vocal people who maybe aren't looking at it so objectively.
Yeah.
Which is why we can never find it when we try and do a show.
Yeah, that's true. It is kind of tough. I kept asking people on Wednesday to link some of the threads because I wanted to farm them for reading today, and I could only come up with a handful of them.
Yeah.
But I think what we read was pretty representative of a lot of the reactions out there, and not all of the complaints are ill-founded.
No.
We've had some of the same complaints in the past, like, it'd be nice to vary up the content or maybe make it new content. But you know what? I think that's, in some regards, an unrealistic expectation. Like, yes, it'd be great if it happened, and if we go through the entirety of the quest and there's not one original fight throughout the whole thing, that I'd be pissed about.
Yeah, well, I think it might be an unrealistic expectation on the first lap.
Yes.
of relevance.
And I think that was my point, was that, you know, we are only on the first rung of this ladder.
And there was the one guy who had his Reddit post where, for the first half of it, sounded like something that could have been copied and pasted off an LBR episode.
Yeah, right.
Until it wasn't.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like because the relic is such a central part of Final Fantasy XIV, that they kind of need to like put their best foot forward with that regard in terms of actually making content. I mean, don't get me wrong. I feel like maybe the last step could have had like some kind of like one fight that was actually like hard, and then you could also do the grinding simultaneously alongside of it.
Do you have cookies in your coat that the cat's trying to get, or what?
It's possible.
That is strange. He
Doesn't do that very often.
Well, I have both my coats right there, so it's like a double whammy.
does like coats. I don't know what that is.
Well, remember at Youmacon, he was in love with me.
Yeah, you just.
Oh my.
Did it just lightning outside? It's like 12 degrees out.
It's frost lightning.
I don't know.
I think you're.
Maybe I'm crazy.
Maybe.
I might have just lost it.
I think the spider's controlling your eyesight.
Yeah,
Shut
it's
the
the
hell up.
spider.
Oh my god.
It's the spider.
We're gonna forget that he's in there.
I got a Skype message asking me if that was a real story or not. I'm like, you have no idea how much I wish that was made up for the show.
Oh.
The most horrifying moment of my life was that doctor uttering those words to me. He's like, you got a spider bite. And I'm like, what? Is that possible? He's like, it happens more often than you think. I'm like, by that you mean it happens?
Does your ear still hurt?
It never hurt. It hurt the one moment I got bit. And it's not hurt at all. Like, that's why, because you would think infection when you can't hear. But there was nothing, like no fever, no pain, nothing that would make you think that you had an infection.
How
And
big was the spider? I think I asked.
he was small. He was that big. He wasn't a big spider by any means. He got fit in my ear.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was horrible. And already my hearing's better than it was when I woke up today. So it is getting better.
That's good.
But yeah,
Spiders.
That's rough. That is rough.
I just don't like living in a world where that's a thing that can happen. I have less respect for this world now than I did before.
Yeah, dude, I don't even. I have no idea what to say to that.
No one does. No one can comprehend the proper thing to say to someone who experiences that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
There's no Hallmark card for that.
Sorry, you had a spider in your ear.
Yeah.
Here's $5.
Maybe like the spider slowly taking over, kind of like Parasect, and how like you're becoming a host to the spider.
I was thinking, like, you remember Animorphs from when you were a kid? I got a freaking yerk in my brain or something like that.
That could be.
If I get to transform into animals, it'll be totally worth. That'd be sweet.
Right.
Just went off the rails.
We are completely off course.
Yeah. Okay, tons of callers. Where was your drop getting, homie?
I mean, kind of bad.
Yeah, drops were way off.
Yeah.
The few you had were pretty decent.
Yeah. But I mean, like, dude, they were so on last.
I think it might have been not having Callow. He felt like he needed to talk more.
That was part of it, but also
So
Kahlo
many callers.
brings a certain amount of chaos, which I can then use to farm drops from.
That's true.
And there were so many callers that I was trying to juggle all the callers and make up for the lack of Kahlo.
I was watching. They were all trying to talk to you all the time too, as callers tend to do. I mean.
Yeah, which is like fine, but it's
So, well,
I mean, it is what it is.
yeah,
so
it's
I mean,
a bit of a trade-off.
yeah.
We're definitely gonna get the nut shot drop.
Oh God, yes.
That's happening.
Maybe the greatest noise I've ever heard uttered. I'd ask you to do it, but I doubt you could.
The least masculine noise I've ever heard.
To be fair, Nutshot.
Yeah, we're not critiquing you on it.
Yeah.
We're just basking in the glory.
Yeah,
of it.
just appreciating it properly.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yeah, that was interesting. I'm glad that we were able to share those.
Definitely, I think a highlight was those two and probably the spider story for the episode.
Well, those two already exist as YouTube videos, so it's a
Sure.
little redundant.
Yeah, that's true.
I think
Although our commentary on it's kind of funny.
it is, but I think we were trying to use those as ways to drive traffic to the YouTube.
That's true.
So, I think that would be a little bit redundant. I don't think we're at the point to talk highlights
No.
just yet.
That's the end. I get to announce that. Okay.
Oh, of course.
Don't you know how this works?
Aniero tries to wrap up, and then I remind him of highlights. Don't mess with the order of things.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't upset the establishment.
Thank you.
So yeah, a lot of really good calls, a lot of really good discussion. This show had a lot of reasons that like it almost didn't happen.
Yes.
God, yeah.
Just you know, as a behind the scenes special feature. I mean, obviously it was my birthday today.
Your birthday, so you.
Which
could-
I'm happy. There was no place I'd rather be. Honestly, I'd rather be doing the show than anything else.
You sure you don't want to have like dinner with your family?
I had that last night, and they took me to see Star Wars. It was a very nice.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Awesome, by the way, Star Wars.
Yeah, it was good.
I almost called in today with partial deafness, but then I thought he wasn't going to be here until I talked to you last night, and I thought Nika might not be here, and I knew Callow wouldn't be here. I'm like,
We knew. Yeah,
I better be there today.
We knew Kala wasn't going to be there.
Yeah.
Nika was a maybe because she was super sick.
Yeah,
Super sick.
on the fence.
Yeah.
It was good on her to make it.
Yeah, very good on her makeup.
I was planning on not being here for the last 2 or 3 months because I was going to go on a vacation, holiday vacation down to Tennessee.
And at the last minute, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So.
Last Friday, it was confirmed that nope, not going.
Yeah.
He is disappearing further and further into there. He'll always come back out.
Idiot.
So that's.
But yeah,
The only one that
a whole lot of
almost wasn't.
things did not almost cause this episode to just not happen.
Yeah. There were just each one of us individually had stuff that was going
Yeah.
on today. So, but happy that we were able to,
Pull it out.
4 out of 5 still made it.
yeah. And then next week is going to be a really special episode because we're all going to be in studio,
Yes.
which means all of us
Which-
will be present for the
First time ever, right?
Yeah.
Has never occurred.
Since the 14 show?
No,
Yeah,
there's
since
never,
the 14th.
right, there hasn't been a 14 episode with us all in studio.
Actually, before Nika joined the cast officially, there was a few where all technically the hosts were in studio.
Yes,
That
that,
doesn't-
has happened.
That doesn't really
The
count.
5 of us have never all been in studio before.
That is true.
Yeah.
After we solidified the lineup, not all 5 of us have been in studio. And even going back to the 11 days, it's been a long time since we had all of the hosts in the same studio. Too.
Where are we gonna sit, Nika?
Same place like we would say Kooky. Yeah, we'll set up a chair and have the standalone mic for her. So, yeah. But that's going to be exciting. Look forward to that. I think we'll probably do some holiday stuff.
Holiday stuff?
I don't know what else to do.
If we do some holiday stuff, that would already be more than SE did for the holidays. If we do anything.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that holiday event opening up.
Oh my god, I was done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 5 minutes.
The only reason I remembered is I saw somebody in the beard and I was like, oh yeah.
And the beard's bad?
The beard is bad.
It's bad, yeah.
Yeah.
Someone mentioned that Godbert was in it, so I was like, alright,
You
I'm gonna do
can't.
it.
You can't like fully dye the beard. Like
Yeah.
I wanted
It
it
still
to be
has
as black as my hair, and you can get it like ash gray with the soot black dye.
Oh,
It sucked too because they got you into it a little bit with the last one we were talking about. Like, oh look, there's a beard. And you're like,
It's the
yeah,
first
it does.
holiday event I think I've ever done,
they got Aniero to do it.
and
And
it,
it's a monumental disappointment.
The ultimate troll?
the beard is a lie. The beard is a lie.
I want to see the question on the next live letter. Will we ever be able to dye the beard darker? And so that I can be like, that piece of shit.
Aniero.
Yeah.
Because that's the kind of question we could ask that would actually get answered.
True.
We will
Maybe.
try. Please look
Maybe.
forward to it.
I would love to have an LBR question get asked, but I don't think SE will ever associate with us in any official capacity.
Honest to God, it would, if it happened, it would be like a Baba Booey Howard Stern's penis sort of like moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like people because I know people ask about that kind of thing. Like, could we ever get something with SE? And it's like you would not want to hear a version of our product where SE has had the creative control they would require for it.
Well, you've already heard.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah.
called the 11 show.
Yeah. Well, not. I mean, the SE didn't have any influence, but the one show that they came on for, they had a bunch of like specific stuff that we had, criteria that we had to meet.
Never again.
Demands. No, I mean, I would definitely be willing to work with Square Enix because some of it was reasonable, like not using licensed music or game music or anything
Fair
like that.
stuff.
Some of that was reasonable. Others, not so much. But I mean, they have no reason to, honestly. They have
What does
no-
it benefit them? At
There's
this
no
point?
reason to. I mean, honestly, when the community team went on Happy's show, like, it didn't, like, dude, our show has more hits than that show does. You know what I mean? Like, the show that we did on Happy's show has more hits than that. So, you know,
Yeah.
like, I'm not sure that anyone cared or noticed. I mean, like, I think maybe if we did it, like, the like, possibility that we could give them a hard time might get people to tune in.
Like, that would be the fun of it, would be us trying to figure out how much we could get away with giving them a hard time before they just yanked it.
Maybe, okay, this is just completely random, but maybe if we got them on and they were like under the presumption that we would be us and they would just roll with it and maybe it could be like tongue in cheek and maybe they would have fun with that with us, like.
Dude, I don't know.
We have a better chance, I think, of getting them on to do a show with the Garleans.
I honestly have no idea how they view us.
It really, yeah. I can't begin to put my finger on it. I know, like, I've tried to send, like, Twitter messages to Matt Hilton. He will never respond to anything that I send him. But he will sometimes, like, make comments about stuff that I say, but not mention me specifically. He's done that before.
Is that right?
That's happened before where I was, it was right after one of the maintenance snafus that they'd had, and I sent a Twitter message to him saying that, like, SE was not, was pushing back the patch to punish LBR because we've been really harsh in the past episode. And he's like, I love the ridiculous conspiracy theories that get sent to me like 5 minutes after I said that to him. And I was like, yeah, that was for me. I know it.
And that was totally bold-faced serious as well, Matt. Good read of the joke.
It's like,
No,
they will
no,
never address us specifically.
Really?
Come on.
That happened.
That had to be a joke. You can't. Obviously, Eskalia was joking, so obviously he's gonna joke back. Come on.
But if that's the case, why not?
I'll
Why
give
not?
him credit for that.
Why not direct it back to me?
Because then he's.
Because then they're associating with us.
Then they're
and
They, I
Acknowledging
think they
us,
can't
yeah.
do that.
I don't know
I
if
think
they
they
can.
have. There's probably a moratorium on
It
us.
might be. It might be. I mean, I don't know, Matt talked to me on tape at FanFest.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before knowing who you were.
Yeah. Come on now. The voice comes out of my face. Like, it's kind of hard to, like,
What?
hey, Matt, do you want to do an interview with me for my podcast?
It's called Mod Squad.
Do you think we could get away with going
Remember
around to the
that.
next FanFest trying to claim that we're other podcasts? Like, can we get someone to believe that we're Whispering Dawn?
No, we need to make up
How mad would the
separate
other shows
podcasts.
be at us?
No, we have to make up podcasts.
Dummy podcast?
Yes!
Oh my god. That's actually not a half bad idea. Because they've given random ass sites interviews and never us.
Oh my god, we gotta do this.
We could just make some dummy blogs and put them up.
We have to create different names too.
I think Mod Squad is hilarious, because that definitely sounds like a podcast that should exist.
We should use our Garlean names, so it sounds Final Fantasy, but no one's gonna, like, Square Enix isn't gonna know what our Garlean names are, and then we're not technically live.
I don't know. They seem to know. I don't know. I think they listen, but they don't. They can't have anything. To
But
do.
they're not gonna. Maybe
Are they gonna remember, like,
the Garleans?
Who's gonna
when's the last time we
forget
did
the
a Garlian? But their names?
But the names.
I can't remember any of your guys' names. I remember mine.
Damien Graveborn.
In my well, we're not bit. If we bring the bit back out, then it's gonna be at that rate.
Let's try.
I mean, you're thinking that the bit's just gonna stay where it is.
But we're definitely on board for dummy podcasts.
Oh, we need to have a dummy
Yeah,
podcast.
dummy podcast for sure.
Yeah. Oh my god, and it just has to be like the most PC Care Bear show that you can imagine until we get this interview.
Wonder if we could just find some people to do a shitty podcast.
Hey, like, how are we gonna approach them? Like, you want to do like a shitty podcast with us?
No, not you don't even need to say that. Just say, hey, you want to do a podcast for us?
Oh,
We are about to hurt so many feelings in this community.
Sorry.
All in our goal to troll SE.
Well, it wouldn't be the first time.
No, it would not be. That is true.
Hopefully they don't give us money so they can't see this video.
Square Enix.
Oh my God! Can you imagine I love the idea that on Square Enix's books is they have $1 a month allocated to Patreon for LBR so they can watch these
So they
videos.
can keep an eye on us.
I just love the idea that SE has had to shell over $12 a year.
It wouldn't surprise me, honestly. It really wouldn't. I mean,
We should go through our 120 whatever people we have and just be like,
Who's this guy?
I don't know
I've
this
never
person.
seen him ever. He's only $1. He was there from the beginning, day one. But I never see him in the chats, write emails, nothing.
I bet you we could figure. Like, I bet you we do know most of our Patreons.
Yeah.
I'm on to you, Hoji Cox. I'm on to you.
All right, so yeah, we had the discussion at the end of the video.
Yep.
We kind of we actually had started that on the Patreon video last week, where I basically said my intention to talk about it on the next show. I did want to talk about it on the last FEC, but again, we just didn't have
We ran
time.
so long on that
so
episode.
long. Yeah.
For 2 straight shows too. Like we ran pretty long on the previous show too.
No, actually, we kept LBR to 3.
Was it 3 hours?
Yeah,
I thought we were like
oh,
10.
because I no, well, 10 is.
You're splitting hairs back
Yeah.
there. Come on.
But I mean, we tried to keep it pretty tight to 3, as tight as we could.
That's true because we were out here plenty of time to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Because I knew we only had an hour between shows.
Right.
So I was trying to limit all of that.
10 minutes is 1/18 of a show. Come on.
So yeah.
I did the math right. So it is.
So I don't know. I hope that I did a good job conveying you know what's going on, and you know really just my honest wish to just start a conversation about all of this. So
I'm curious, what format are you thinking of having? Like, we want to have this conversation. In what way? Just with callers on FEC? Is that what
yeah,
you're thinking? Okay.
yeah, just like throwing it out there. I'll start it off. Like I'm happy to kick it off with my story.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I think me and Juxta are both fine with telling ours too. So.
you know, I threw that out there today, you know, as a way to sort of set up that conversation, and you know, I purposely didn't say that much about the specifics because I wanted to reveal it for that show. So, you know, I do want to encourage people to tune in to the next Final Encounter cast in January. Because that's the conversation that we want to have, and because it's so universal. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying like, you know, oh woe is me, like poor me, feel bad for me and give me money. You know, this is like super common with everyone. Everyone has been through this. I've been through this, and I'm also not saying like, well, I'm just gonna pack up my stuff and leave the industry. Like I have tried my best to kind of like lay out my options. Like those are just the options that I'm looking at. And, you know, to me it speaks volumes that, you know, 20,000 people listen to the show that we make. Like if this show if this show didn't perform as well as it did, it would make me rethink like, okay, I need the industry in some
If
capacity.
we were looking at 3,000 downloads an episode,
Right.
we'd be in a very different place.
Yes, and I would be in a different place professionally. But because this is the same thing that I want to do professionally and what I want to do with my career, I'm looking at it as like what's a better opportunity for me? Going to work at you know at a media organization that's going to give me grunt work or more you know more work than what I'm properly compensated for, or you know. And really, what does a media organization provide someone with talent? That really just provides them with access to their audience. That's it. Like it's being that it's a one-to-many medium, and that it was you know it was something that it was like really the only way to get into everyone's household You needed it as an entertainer at one point in your career, but now we have the internet. Now we have people's people's interest fragmented in so many different directions and so many different niche products that clearly people can make an entire living just commenting on video games. And what we've made here has a lot of momentum and potential, and I just don't know, on a personal level, I don't know if it's worth more to keep going at LBR and FEC, because that is a huge risk, or whether to divide my time between the two.
Well, I think for all of us, I mean, sans maybe Nika, who is working her career that she wants to do.
Right.
She would probably always be a part-timer if we got to the point where we went full-time. But the four of us, I think, absolutely would all love to give it a go as full-timers. And one question I wanted to ask you, because you mentioned we do 20,000 per episode. If we have a good episode, we spike to 40. We've seen it spike as high as 60 before.
Yeah.
What is considered a good listening audience at a radio station for a show? Because people, I think, have in their mind that it's probably going out to millions of people, and that's not the case. It can't be.
You're right. It's more on average, we're talking about the hundreds of thousands, depending on the population of an area. So you have two things at play when you're talking about a radio signal. You have your potential audience, which is the population that lives within the size of your radio signal, and no two radio signals are exactly the same. The size of a radio signal, the size of a radio station's signal pattern is determined by how many watts the transmitter gets. And your FCC license only allots you so much wattage. So that's how they kind of control the channel bleed, because you don't want two stations sitting at 88.7 that have crossover patterns. Because people in that crossover pattern will get both. They'll get neither station clearly. Yes. So in order to prevent against that, the FCC regulates how much power a certain station can give its transmitters and at what frequency it can transmit at. And that's really the two things you have in place. So depending on your FCC license and depending on how your signal overlays population density, in a major city center, we are talking about millions, like potentially millions of people that are listening.
Unrealistic, though.
But again, the key word there is potential.
Right.
Okay? There have been a lot of changes in the way that ratings are measured. The ratings agency used to be this agency called Arbitron, and now it's done by Nielsen, the same people who do television ratings. And they've switched now to a system called PPM, which is Personal People Meter. And so instead, the old way that you did it was you logged your listening in a book, right? And people would often not report exactly what they listened to. They'd be like, oh, I was in the car the other day for like an hour and a half, and so I listened to an hour and a half of my favorite radio station. And it would always kind of trend towards your favorite radio station. And it would give you very skewed data. And so what this is it's just a little thing about the size of like a pager that you keep on you all the time, and it listens for a subsonic frequency in each radio signal that the human ear can't hear, but each different frequency will tell the people meter what frequency the radio is tuned to, and is able to correctly measure the amount of time being spent with any given station. So when you talk about the amount of people that are listening at any one time to a radio station, say in a populated area like Detroit, you're talking, again, we're back to between tens and hundreds of thousands.
It's just amazing to me, like, think about that, because it's not, unless, taken out of cities like New York, Los Angeles, maybe Chicago, it's not generally going to be millions of people who are listening to any given program, because there's obviously tons of radio stations to pick from. What we managed to pull in with 5 people sitting in a bedroom, going out over the internet, is impressive, and it floors me that radio is not more into embracing that.
They're slowly starting to embrace it, and and of the products that they've started to embrace, they've also started to exploit it. So, you know, the broadcast industry has been a suffering industry, and as a result, I'm going to be honest, they have exploited a lot of their labor. A lot of their talent have been either overworked, you know, like they are assigned way more, you know, than they can reasonably handle, work for increasingly smaller wages. Wages have been shrinking in the broadcast industry for years. And with this new generation of broadcasters that are coming in, the previous generation, you know, like there are two generations that exist behind, you know, behind what, you know, basically my generation. There's the baby boomers and Generation X that are sitting there and just fucking sitting there. Like, they don't move out of the industry, they don't move out of these positions because A, they're not very physically stressful, okay? And B, these companies just don't want to divest from what they consider traditional talent. And so you get 70, I mean, look at how old a lot of radio professionals are.
Right.
They're the same folks that have been sitting there since the fucking 70s. Howard Stern just signed another contract for 7 years.
God.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, does anyone give a shit about Howard Stern anymore? Yeah, he's a judge on The Voice. No, nobody under 40 knows who Howard Stern is. I love him because I love radio. Same thing with Opie and Anthony. Young people don't know who Opie and Anthony are. But you know what? Fucking insult comics, insult, you know, like dirty comedy, edgy comedy, that always has a place, right? And so, you know, Opie and Anthony is no longer a thing. Kids will never find that. But they may find us because you know what they're watching? They're watching fucking Twitch.
Exactly.
So,
I mean, the reason
and there's also a distinct lack of edgy, you know, edgy, dirty, blue comedy on Twitch. It's a lot of sarcasm, a lot of, you know,
it's a lot of Simpsons humor.
Eye rolling,
Yeah.
or over the top energy, stuff like that. You don't have a lot of dudes that are just sitting around, you know, being fucking cynical. That's what I loved about morning shows in the 90s growing up, was that it was a bunch, you know, there were two kinds of morning shows. There were morning shows, hey, good morning, welcome, you know, you just
Welcome to KYZ.
Yeah, you just started your morning. You know, like there was that, but then there were also the dudes that were like, it's 6 o'clock, I'm here, you're awake, let's fucking do this. You know what I mean? Like, the dudes like Drew and Mike and Opie and Anthony, you know, those dudes really shaped me and attracted me as even someone as young as 10, 11, 12 years old. So, you know, I feel like when people, I don't know this for sure, and you know, this is just how I feel when I go to Twitch or when I go to YouTube and I start interacting with gamer media. I just feel like there is a type, and it's almost universal, and it's like copy and pasted. I like a lot of it, and I can appreciate where they come from, and I can appreciate their content, and I enjoy their content 90% of the time that I watch it, okay? But I don't see a lot of people putting out the kind of cynicism and critical, you know, like critical examination like we're doing. I think that that's sort of unique to us, and I don't know why. I think it's because, you know, a lot of people just want to cater to as wide of an audience as possible, and you know, like.
Well, and to a certain extent, it's fun to just hop on the bandwagon and say this is great and just kind of, you know, have your big circle jerk for a little bit. To an extent, there's a fun aspect behind that and to being liked for it.
And it's not like people aren't getting anything out of it too, because video game companies are rewarding a lot of these people with just free games.
Yes.
And you know, most Twitch streamers don't get, you know, exclusive interviews or exclusive access to stuff. They don't want that kind of stuff. But video game companies do reach out to them and say, hey, will you play my game on your channel? Final Fantasy XIV has been doing this. There are videos on Final Fantasy XIV on two best friends play,
Yep.
and then TFS. TFS did 2 FF14 videos, about 20 minutes long each,
Yep.
okay? They were paid for those. They say right at the beginning that they were paid for those. Square Enix is going around and finding people that they want to market to,
Yep.
and you know, the TFS crowd, I guess, is a market that they think is valuable.
Well, I mean, and why not for them?
Why not?
That is the
That's
male demographic, probably 17 to 30-ish,
Right.
that they want.
Right, but the thing is that like you know, like, let's not pretend that nobody's getting stuff out of Twitch stream.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you know, a lot of people will see, you know, how much has been donated to us and how much we get out of doing the show, and go, well, yeah, but you guys are already getting something out of it, and you know, and that is fair. We are, but I think that we're doing something different from an individual streamer that can subsist on, you know, what are we getting on Patreon? $1,500 a month. That they can subsist on that as a human being and also continue to grow their product.
Sure, if LBR was just one of us, it would be a full-time thing.
Yeah,
at this
we
point.
and we could afford to be able to divest us from, you know, divest ourselves from jobs or you know, devote more time to this. But the fact is that we're growing a product. We're not growing an individual stream, so our needs are a bit different.
Yep.
So yeah, that's. I think just an honest conversation about where we sit, and you know, I appreciate you guys sitting and listening to that and giving me the chance to get that off my chest. It wasn't easy. I could not look at the chat room the entire time I did this. So.
Pure anecdote that has really nothing to do with what we're talking about right now.
Yeah.
Regarding with FCC licenses and stuff, my dad actually ran an independent radio station in Livingston County
Really?
with an illegal Class D license because the FCC would not give out D licenses for
Yeah.
Chesapeake County.
Yeah.
And he actually had his station, aka the basement, raided, and they took everything.
Oh shit! Wow. That's crazy. I had no idea.
No.
Some really cool stuff, actually.
What year was this?
I want to say like probably 1995. Like
Okay,
I
yeah,
was
that's-
10.
I like the
That's-
idea of little Juxta running around and suddenly, like, these people just, like, kicking
No
the
one was
door.
home, but they actually left the gate open, which let my dog out.
Oh, what a dick.
Yeah. I actually hosted
What
like
the
a show
hell?
a little bit,
Did you really?
and someone called in with a request, and I got scared, so I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, help me! What do I do?
And of course, the tape of that could never be salvaged because it was taken by the feds.
Yup.
Nice job. Way to go.
Ten-year-old
Yeah.
Juxta's DJing his own show.
It was during
Can
Halloween.
you imagine calling it a radio station? It's like the 10-year-old kid picks up on the other end line, like,
Hello. Hey, dude.
No, I
did you
said
play something by Insane Clown Posse?
no. Okay, it was 89.7 Free Living Radio, and it was during Halloween, and they asked for a Munsters theme, or for the Munsters theme, and I was like, sure, I'll see what I can do, and I like couldn't find it, so I put up Addams Family,
Yeah.
and I went to my
Way
dad.
better.
Yeah, well, I went to my dad, and he found one, so I was like, it was really nerve-wracking. I didn't think anyone was actually listening.
That's funny. Well, you know, they actually did change the rules for licensing for LPFM in like which is low power FM.
Yeah.
In like 2003, it was like right around the time that I graduated high school.
I think my dad went to Washington during the protest of like the Class D licenses.
So we need to see if Living Free Radio can get a interview with Square Enix.
Oh my god. It would have been really fun if we could have done like an embarrassing tapes day. You know, like I would have loved to hear that 10-year-old Juxta DJ session. I could have brought in. I have some tapes from high school that I could have played. What did you do?
I'll tell you what. Before my first appearance on LBR, you would never get me from a microphone or a camera. I was not a performer in any way.
Really?
No.
No?
That's why I think about that as such like a big thing for me, and why I say I was bit by it. Before that, I had never appeared on stage, in front of a camera, in front of a microphone. I didn't take pictures. I hated being seen in any way like that. And after that, I couldn't get enough of it.
Interesting.
Yep.
I was the innkeeper during my Benjamin Franklin class at whatever it's called.
Fuck. History class?
No, not history class, but performance, stage, play. There we go. I was the innkeeper for and I had 2 lines.
You did. Wow.
What? Your horse eats oysters? And then I go off stage and says, hey, this horse doesn't eat oysters. And then we both go back in and some other guy's like, hey, that guy stole my seat by the fire. And that was it. That's all I did.
Oh, you remember it.
Yeah.
I was also a Nazi in The Sound of Music.
That makes sense. That makes total sense. That.
He's been cast as an innkeeper and a Nazi. Okay. Talk about being typecast, I guess, right?
In the Nazi one, I was also a male dancer who was not dancing, but I had danced during a scene.
Okay.
So when you get cast as a Nazi, do you start trying to like develop your character further, where you're like a Nazi, but you're also like a sympathizer for the Jewish people at that point?
No, I was just Nazi. Screw Nazi.
Pure hatred and genocide.
Yeah, you're sitting there sitting down talking to your teacher, like, can we talk a little more about my character? She's like, what are you, Nazi? You're Nazi 2, right? Yeah, but what if Nazi 2 is secretly leading an underground railroad?
No.
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 Just hate Nazis.
Yeah. 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 Well.
Again, off the rails.
Yeah, totally. I was Bottom the Weaver in Midsummer Night's Dream in high school.
Bottom Weaver?
Bottom the Weaver.
Oh.
Bottom the Weaver. Yep. So yeah, and then I was actually in a bunch of plays in high school. So.
It's okay for my videos of just embarrassing stuff. We can just play Voices of Van Deal. Sure, there's plenty of embarrassingly awful moments.
It really is.
Dude, there really is. And the other day, someone comes in the stream and was like, I just listened to the Drunkisode. I thought they meant of LBR.
Oh,
that we did,
God.
the 3rd episode of LBR. No, he meant my Drunkisode on Voices of Van Deal. And I'm like, what was that like? He's like, dude, that shit was hilarious. I'm like, was it?
Why?
I don't remember it being that great, but okay.
Alright.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I question your taste.
Maybe he was being polite.
Maybe.
Or maybe he didn't listen and just assumed it was funny because drunk.
Maybe. That could be. He might have just seen Drunkisode and I'm like, oh, this is probably a funny episode.
Maybe he wasn't actually listening.
Maybe. Dude,
Maybe he
there's-
has spiders in
there's
his
one
ears.
legitimately funny part in that episode where I fall on my keys
I remember that.
and scream out in pain in the
I
background.
remember that.
That's about it.
It's not quite as funny as the nutcake.
No.
All right, so I think that's going to do it for our Patreon video.
So highlights? You don't mess with the natural order of things, damn it.
Don't go
we
against the
actually
man.
we actually did not do highlights last week because I was struggling to get the episode out on time.
Yeah, that FEC to do.
Yeah, that FEC was fucking epic.
Not to mention we had so many donations that'd take forever to edit through.
Not just that, but all of the video did not get recorded to the recorder, so
Yeah.
I remember all the pausing and reversing them. I had to
That's on
sync
you.
all of that up. Yeah.
That was all your fault.
Yeah, that was my fault. So anyway,
But luckily you don't have a job, so you can devote all your time to it.
Yeah.
What a backhanded statement.
yeah, luckily
Yeah.
about that. Anyway, so yeah, how about highlights for today?
Highlights. What happened today?
Well, we talked. We had a. So, God, I feel like my favorite moments have been in the green room video this week.
Let's see. How did it start off first?
Well, I think,
Well, we started out talking about the bat. That was the first part. And showing off your nutcake.
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
good times. I think, near the end with, I think, Carletta's call, I thought that was really funny.
Singing.
Yeah.
At some point, we're just gonna have to like splice together all the songs that people sing us.
Yeah.
Oh, a best of hit, or a best of track.
Yeah. That would be really funny.
For the first time ever, on 63 different CDs, get the best of LBR, a musical experience.
Someone was, I think, who was it in the chat was saying that they wanted to edit all of my rants and outbursts together
Oh my god.
and then put it on a CD.
Okay, but that would basically just be taking every episode and putting them end to end.
Okay.
Funny.
Funny. Hilarious.
Lowest common denominator humor.
I love how you throw that in every now and then.
Just gotta, man. Just gotta. Oh god.
You got it.
Man, this episode sucked.
Do we want to read some of, or where we read some of the ranty posts from Reddit and stuff like that? We could
Some of them were pretty decent.
We could probably put a chunk of that up.
Yeah. I thought some of our highlights this week were not things that were like hysterical. They were just legitimate moments. Like one of those
Well thought
emails
out.
that we got was really well thought out. The I think was it not the email on the licensing, was it?
Yeah, it was sort of like an achievement.
That whole
system.
conversation
yeah,
might go
license,
up
I
well.
think was
Yeah,
that's
licensing
what they
system
called
or
it,
something
yeah.
like that. That whole conversation might be worth putting up.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. Because yeah, that did spark a couple of minutes.
It was the email after that though that I'm trying to think of that we were all like, wow, that's a really well said email. Oh, it was the person who was kind of calling out both people who were hardcores and casuals. Basically, stop the fucking whining. We all kind of like that email.
Yeah. Is that it?
How about Callow's
really
call
quick.
coming in as a fucking
Oh,
as our Lords of Verminion caller? God damn it, Callow.
yeah, we could probably do calls one.
Don't sound so unhappy.
Ugh, Callow.
Whatever. All right. Well, that gives me a couple of things to look for.
Yeah. Maybe there was a good part that we just don't remember.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll start going through it later tonight. So. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it here for our green room video. Thank you so much for your support on Patreon. You of course make all of this possible. We could still probably do it without him, but it wouldn't be as fun.
It wouldn't be like it is.
When we leave it.
It would be weekly.
That wouldn't be a thing to rock with.
It's way more fun. Way more fun when you're a part of it. So, thank you so much for your support. And, have a great holiday.
Yeah.